Welcome to the Evolve with Latoya show. Thank you for joining me, Carl.
Hey, Latoya, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to double check that we're live. I'm not tech savvy. For those of you who don't know me that well, my name is Latoya Watson. For those of you who don't know me, and I am your host. I am a licensed therapist, a speaker, wellness consultant. I do all the things. I'm a big advocate for mental health and healthy relationships. And today we will be discussing why it's important to date yourself before and after a relationship. And Coach Carl, would you like to introduce yourself?
I appreciate that, and thank you for having me on, Miss Latoya. I am Coach Carl. I am a relationship and life coach, but I'm also mainly an accountability coach. That's why I specialize in helping people to take accountability um, for things that they've been involved with or things they've done in life. I think that's the biggest, one of the first things somebody has to do in order to move forward in any situation. I primarily coach mostly men and working with men to help them recover from divorce. I'm a divorcee myself after 23 years. And I try to get them, steer them back, or even long-term relationships, to steer them back on course to understand that there is a second chance of love out there, even for men. Though I will tell people, don't marry for love, and I'll explain that one day for all y'all to understand.
I'm just, I've been hearing that more, and I'm now finally understanding what that really means. Caring for the next person who hopefully will be the last person, the only person, right? And when you were talking about boundaries, I was also thinking about your non-negotiables, right? Your deal breakers. You should also be thinking about that. That's important to know what you're willing to accept and what you're not. And I have a feeling you're going to say something about women and their high expectations. Was that coming?
No, I was going to leave that alone, but since you brought it up.
Sure you were. I think I know you well enough now.
No, I mean, again, they can have all the expectations they want. Most of them don't fit their expectations that they're asking for. But they'll realize that, and for some of them, they'll end up in the Black Golden Girls resort, down the road. That's self-explanatory.
Didn't we have a talk about you being, kind?
Yeah, I am being very kind.
Sunday. Happy Sunday, Carl.
It is. It's a beautiful Sunday. Yes, the resort will be nice. It's going to be 3 levels. There'll be a dog park. But that's a whole nother topic. But no, really, I think, but like you said, it really is the perfect time to figure out the boundaries and what you'll accept.
You're just laughing.
And what you allow to happen. Again, who you are, because again, you have to realize it also teaches you what questions to ask.
Yeah.
I never thought. And this is no shade. Like I said, again, I come from a family that's married, long marriages. My ex, none of the women marriages made it. I didn't think to look at that. I didn't think to ask about that.
Well, you shouldn't judge someone off of that.
Not
right?
judging. Not judging.
I mean, not judge, but that's not a strong.
But it puts you in a position to set boundaries.
Okay, with those family members, you're
right? Because right, I don't need you going to your family and talking about whatever issues we have, because the first thing out their mouth will be, "Well, leave him," or if the reverse is, they'll leave her. That's not what you want if you're trying to break the cycle and have longevity.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So you're asking questions. So what are your views on marriage? What are your like I tell some people, a lot of times they just really need to throw away vows. It doesn't matter anymore. People should just say, "Hey, I'm going to stay married to you until I don't feel like, till I'm unhappy. You don't make me happy anymore, then I'm going to get a divorce." That's really what people are saying today. And because you don't understand, and that dating yourself also prepares you to make yourself happy. I would tell people all the time,
Yeah.
it is not your spouse's responsibility to make you happy. If you're miserable, it's because of you. You're miserable. It's not your spouse's. It's not your spouse's responsibility. Should be allowed to destroy you or tear you down. I'm not going to say that, or your partner who you're dating, but you have to go into a relationship happy and healthy and whole. And most people don't do that. They might have two or three, one of three.
Because they're not dating themselves in between.
Well, that right, and then and okay, and I'll answer this question because I know it's being asked or somebody thinking of it. How long should you date yourself?
Oh yeah, good question.
So, talking to several psychiatrists and therapists who are heavily involved in the field of divorce when marriages end and things like this, the number really comes out to, for every 5 years you're married, you need to take a year to yourself. Now, again, everybody's progress is different. Do that. But it takes time. So it may take you 2 or 3 years. It may take you 4 years to really be ready to date someone. And again, if you're able to wait 3 years, you're able to wait 4 years, you're able to wait 10 years, and you're doing the work on a daily basis, and you're enjoying yourself and you're enjoying life. When that person comes along, they're going to see that.
Well, that's the part also. Are they doing the work during that time? Because that's what's coming to mind for me. Because sometimes I see clients who are still healing, and like everyone's healing journey is different. And I do think there needs to be, like, if it's taking an extended amount of time to heal or grieve from a loss of a relationship, and I'm not talking about divorce, but an end of a relationship, things need to be done differently. We have to reevaluate what we're doing. Because I don't think it should take, like, someone who's, I don't know, 10 years healing after a breakup is a really long time. Like, we have to look at what needs to be done differently. So yeah, I think, like you said, how are they using their time is really important. Are they doing the work? What's really happening? And we're always going to be doing the work, right? We're always evolving. We're always growing. But we do need to be at a certain baseline before we re-enter relationships.
Yeah.
To set ourselves up for success. Don't set yourself up for failure by jumping into another relationship.
No, I mean, I literally did that. I just kind of was like, oh, and again, I didn't want to necessarily a relationship, but I wanted to go out. I wanted, again, you got a companion for all those years. That was half my life at that point.
Yeah.
And I got out there and I was just like, and it didn't work. I mean, and again, she wanted more, I didn't, and it ended up hurting her, and it hurt me that I hurt her. And at that point, that's when I said, okay, nah, this ain't just, I'm not doing this, with anybody. I need to take time for me and heal, because again, healing continues. It never stops when you're hurt like that.
Always.
It just, like you said, we just get to a better baseline where we're able to date and re-enter the market and date and have a solid relationship and even marry. But you're constantly healing, you're constantly growing, you're constantly moving forward. And I think a lot of people think, how do I want to say it? They'll read a meme and they think they're healed. I'm living my best life now. I'm free. There's a particular.
Do people really think that?
Yes.
That's hard for me to believe, but
no, we actually did something in the DBDS group one time as a post on it, and literally those are some of the comments. They'll read a book and they think they're healed. They don't go out and they don't want to get help. But see, here's the thing: we'll spend money on material things and trips and meals, but we won't spend money on clinical help.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm offering quick promotion. I'm offering intensives now and I don't accept insurance for it. And it's amazing to me that people are hesitant to invest in their healing. And yeah, I know, but the Beyonce tickets and everything, and I'm gonna say it like versus getting the help for yourself. And I hate to say that, but it's comparing the two. And at the same time, I know therapy and healing is difficult, it's challenging, and so is everything else. It's like how the phrase is, choose your hard. Um, but yeah, it is what it is. People who understand the value of it will invest in themselves, and others may take longer to, and that's just what it is.
Yeah,
Right?
well, yeah, it's hard. It is hard to do it, and most people are not going to put the money into it. They're not going to invest into it. They're looking for instant self gratification. They're looking for something
Yeah.
to. I will tell you who they'll go to. They'll go to a coach, a therapist, or somebody that they'll find a sympatharian type dude who will agree with everything they're saying because it makes them feel good, because they want somebody to validate how they feel. It's not about how you feel, because feelings change, emotions change. And if you're operating off the way you feel today and thinking, okay, if they agree with me, that means I was right. I'm healed. I'm not the issue. It's like you see, like somebody had posted one time, you're not the problem. It's the dating pool that has pee in it. You don't have to get any better. And everybody's like, I know I'm great. And my apostle told me I'm fine and there's nothing wrong with me. And this. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, wow, you guys just shot yourselves in the foot because you're not willing to evolve and grow. That's a constant. And so again, therapy hurts because sometimes there are things that'll come out that you didn't know were in there. Sometimes sometimes you get all the way to the root that you dug so deep that you get to this root that you don't even realize it started when you were 6 years old. And now you got to deal with childhood trauma. See, you didn't want to talk about your childhood trauma. You didn't want to talk about the uncle that touched you, and whether you're a boy or a girl, your uncle that touched you, and now you got to address that, and you realize this is why I can't have a stable relationship, and I can't have intimacy the way I want to. But people don't want to face those dark moments, those demons that they're on. Some people would rather party with the demons they got than to kick them out. And that's the sad part. And that's what dating yourself and self-reflecting, all that goes together to get that stuff up out of you. Because why would you want to carry all that into the next relationship with the next person and destroy them? Especially if you were the one that was hurt. Why would you want to go in another relationship and hurt somebody else?
And I really think it's not intentional. People, of course, are not intentionally trying to hurt other people. I don't think people realize how their childhood wounds are showing up and impacting their relationships today. They're not. And you're right. Therapy is hard. I don't always want to go to therapy. My therapist told me the other day, she tried to nicely check me, like, how committed are you to this? You're not committed to sessions. I was doing once a month. She's like, yeah, it's tough. Oh, we have a question. Let's bring it up there. How do you know when you're ready and you're done with healing and ready to start dating? We were gonna talk about that. Thank you for asking, Cassandra.
Oh, well, you're never, again, I'll go back in the healing part. You're never done healing. That the moment you think you're done healing is the moment you fall back into an unhealed position or a familiar position, because you're not being conscious. You got to still stay self-conscious about your healing. You may allow something to enter in another relationship that you don't want, and now you're back there. Now it's a trigger. that ends up causing you to end another relationship. But knowing you're ready is when I say it this way: when you can go have fun, no expectations, dating, just going out with a person and you meet them, you have fun, you can talk, chit chat. Because I think some people go out dating. Again, we hear the dating with a purpose. I'm same way, but I dated for fun, not realizing that everybody's not going to be that my next wife. You know what I'm saying? That guy that you go out with, just have fun. This is when you're ready to go date. When you can go out on a date and the guy is really you're not vibing, but you had a good time and you're able to say, hey, you know what? You're just really not the person for me, but I appreciated the date. So you're having fun. You're able to communicate. You're able to be at peace with that. That's when you really know you're ready to date. That's when you know you're really ready for it. And see, again, are you dating and understanding why you're dating? Again, you're dating different people. Again, some people want to date for a long-term partner. Some people want to date, make new friends. Some people want to date for marriage. What are you dating for? And in order to know that, you got to be able to go out there and start giving some no's off an initial thought when it doesn't click, when it doesn't work. But you're having fun in the process. Not the fun hurting somebody, but having fun going out.
So lots there, a lot of gems. And I think some things will need a little bit more clarity. Yes, I agree. Having fun. For me, I knew when I was ready, when I was content with being alone. Mm-hmm. I was able to be comfortable being alone, not in a relationship. And it took me a little time to get there. I would say maybe a year after my last breakup. I think a good year when I stopped, the first year that I stopped dating, it took me about a year for me to feel comfortable and content with being single. So yeah, the other things that you said, Carl, about having fun with dating, I think we need to break that down, because I think, like you said, dating with a purpose or intention versus fun. And I guess what you're trying to say, there's no outcome. You're getting to know someone, right?
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Some people go on a date thinking they're going to get the engagement ring on the first date.
Yeah.
That is an unreal expectation, and you can't have fun. If you're going out, oh, my clock is ticking, I got to be married, I got to do this. Oh, I got to find a woman before this time. When you put in that's not dating.
Yeah.
That's I don't even know what word I would use. That's not dating. But when you're able to go out, no expectations, and say, let's just see where this goes. And I know a lot of women don't like to hear that term, but it's a real term. And as a man, if you're like, hey, let's see where this goes. But you know the guy well enough to know he's not playing games or whatever. But he's like, let's see where it goes. We don't know where it's going to go.
Well, that's the part. You have knowing the person I don't want to say intentions, but I guess knowing enough about the person, about their character. Is that what you're saying? And we're kind of going into a different conversation, but.
Well, I mean, it's part of what if you're understanding who and what who, what, and when, all these questions, you're answering all those things when you're dating yourself. And you meet someone and you're like, okay, the mindset is, even before they say it, is, let's just see where this goes. That's your mindset. You just enter each situation that way. Let's see what happens. Let's see where it goes. And see, again, you're going out without expectation. You're just going out. I'm not talking about taking advantage of somebody to have 7 free dinners a week, stuff like that. That type of thing.
No, but
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I can't bite my tongue, just like a woman, right? I know you want to say that.
No, I'm not going to say that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think for women that can be a little bit of a trigger term. Let's see where this goes, because I've heard clients say men have said that, but I think it's important. What you mentioned was, when are they saying this? Are they saying this the first date or 3-4 months later?
See, that's the difference. Yeah, right.
Right. So we
Right,
have to
that's
be
what I said. If
clear
you
about
go
that.
into right, if you go into it, let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. There's no expectations. And again, you can do a check. You could do a temperature check in a couple of months if y'all are kind of vibing and what are we
Nah,
doing?
nah, 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 nah.
No, a couple of months to me. Seriously,
Ladies,
2 months, and if you're both communicating this, I think 2 months is a good time to really do a check in to see where you guys are at. And see again, women continue to want to press this timetable. Yeah, I tell you, yeah, take when we put time, when we put a time, there's time to put time limits, and we don't have a ton of time, a lot of time in this, uh,
yeah.
to really divulge into that. But when you really understand what you're doing and you're getting into something, because see again, if you're because see you're going because you're putting in time expectation. If you sit and say, well, I'm going to go in and see what happens. And now I will digress and say this. It depends on how much you're seeing each other and able to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
If you're seeing each other regularly, weekly, being able to communicate every day, all this other stuff and things, that kind of changes the temperature check, when you do that. But if you're able to see each other once every couple of weeks because of your schedules, but you talk, a little text here, this and this, and you're still learning, 2 months is a good time to say, hey, what do you want to do with this? And again, that's 60 days. That's not really that long out there to do that. But I know some women are like, they're looking, hey, when are we going to Jared's at week 6? And that's not working,
No, I agree. I do agree. I just think communication is really important right from the beginning. And I do think that there needs to be conversation about just like, what is this person's even goals or what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't hearing things like, let's see where this goes, or let's go with the flow 2 months later is no.
Well, if a person, no, I agree. But if a person 2 months later is saying, "Hey, let's just see how this goes," or "Let's go with the flow," that I agree with that. But see, again, that's why I say you're
Okay.
doing that temperature check. At that point, like, okay, well, what do we? Are we an item? What are we doing here? And that's why I said, to me, that's the 2 months is viable because depending on how much time you're dealing with each other, you're able to see each other, and that actual physical contact, you're able to go on a date and do these different things. That time window can come down, but again, if you're doing the real work while you're single, you'll be able to see through a lot of different things when it's time to mingle. So
Yeah.
that's doing the work. That's doing the work.
Yeah. And I know there's so much with this topic, and what does doing the work look like? I know we talked a lot about, just doing a quick recap for people who are joining in. Doing the work, like you said, taking accountability, self-reflection, looking at your flaws, looking at what you could have done differently. That's what you're referring to, doing the work, right?
Correct.
Let's as we're at the hour mark, and I want to be mindful of your time, what are some takeaways? What are some essential things that you think you would recommend for men and women to do, just related to their healing and dating themselves?
The first thing when you come out of a relationship, I'll start there and just kind of go forward real quick. Forgive yourself.
Yes.
Forgive that person and forgive yourself. That relationship is over. It ended for a reason. You do want to reflect a little bit on, I know a lot of people say, well, you don't always need closure. Sometimes, closure helps, but if you're not able to get that, you just have to figure out, what could you have done? Well, let's do it this way. What do you think you did wrong within the relationship? Because you did do something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, none of us are perfect, outside
Yeah.
Christ. Nobody's perfect in a relationship. So there's things that you could have done. And again, you might not have done it wrong. You might not have done it. Just say it needs to be done at a 9. You kept it at a 2. So now you're realizing, man, I should have stepped this up and did this. That's key right there. The next thing is therapy, counseling. I don't care if it's dating or it's a divorce, whatever it is. You need to find somebody viable, not somebody that's going to agree with you, not somebody that's going to pat you on the hand and say, "Oh, I'm right there with you." No, get away from your girlfriends, get away from your homeboys if they're all in agreement with everything that you're going. No, you don't want that, because that is the worst thing in the world for you, because you're not going to grow. They know you, and here's the thing: they love you. Your family loves you. Your friends love you. So they don't want to see you hurting. So, of course, they're going to tell you it wasn't your fault. Of course, they're going to tell you you're a great person. Of course, they're going to, and see, the thing what they're going to do is they're going to try to fix you up with somebody. Yeah, you're a great person. And then they're going to try to fix you up with somebody. And that's going to destroy everything that you really need to be working on and doing. Oh, I got a great guy. I know. I got a great girl out here. And you're like, no, that's not what you need right now. So take the time to get away from them and get some real coaching, real therapy. And put a system in place. Go exercise. Go, whether it's walking, bike riding, the gym. Go grind, whatever it is. Do something, and shut social media off for a while.
Disconnect.
Or really limit what you're doing, because when you start sitting there and seeing some of these crazy stories and videos, and what people are like, oh, that was what he was doing, or that was what she's doing. And so now you're back in that hurt mode, and you can't heal from that. Shut that down. The next thing I'd say is, go out on your journey. Journal your journey. Get out there and whatever you're doing. Hey, I went to just say, what if if you're a guy and you never had to really grocery shop. Now you're grocery shopping. Write it in the journal. I went grocery shopping for the first time. Or I cooked this dish. Or, I changed my, if you're a woman, like I changed my tire, I know it's not soft life, but, but just say you did that. You write it in the journal.
I put air in my tires this morning.
Journal it. Put it in the journal, and this is what and again, I'm not being funny. I'm just saying, but these are, when you start doing things that you really not used to doing, journal that. You're having fun. I went out and I had a blast at this jazz show, at this local restaurant. Do those things for yourself. Again, you're not doing it to show. You're not doing it to show people, hey, look, I'm healed, I'm healthy. Like I said, there's a particular young lady who's just divorced in the entertainment world, divorced her husband, and every time you turn around, she's throwing a video out there. And everybody's screaming how great she looks. And she's not healed. You can look at it from a professional eyesight. You can see she's not healed. She's hurting. And she possibly made a mistake. That's what you don't want to be posting it. Don't post for people to say, oh, way to go, Carl. You're on your journey, man. This and this. Way to go, Latoya. You're healed. You look great. Just,
you look great, girl.
Add pictures and all this other stuff, and butt pictures and all this stuff these people do. They don't need to know that. Journal your journey for you and nobody else. And I love that. Yeah. Sport, hobby, whatever you're doing, go out, find something. I took cooking classes.
Golf.
You took golf. You did. I could already cook. I went and took cooking classes. I did a paint and sip. It was funny. I was the only dude in there. Did a paint and sip.
They were surrounding you? No,
I just sat in the back in the corner by myself. So, I mean, and it was a blast. I literally had a blast in there. And it was actually a birthday party for a couple of for two of the women there, and it was their girlfriends like on half, but it was a fun time. And I went and so again, do those things, get out, and eventually you'll find yourself so comfortable being single that you're like, the right person really has to come along to invade my space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I like my peace. And I'm telling you, as men, that's a big thing for us.
Yeah.
So if you have a man that's going through something, he allows you into his space, that is a big deal. And I think that that's, again, you see it, we deal with stuff in the group all the time. What's the first thing men say? They want the peace. So if you got a man that's been through trauma and he's saying, and he allows you into his space, into that peace space, that's a big deal. But that's what you got to do. So, but you get to a place, and some people just get comfortable and like, oh, I'm comfortable being single. I desire a relationship, but I'm comfortable being single. And again, don't drown yourself now into getting more degrees and uh, um, adding 10 other businesses or jobs and all this other stuff and stuff, because you'll miss out on that person, because you're so drowned you in all that noise, you can't hear their love coming to you.
Carl, why are you in my business? No, years ago, after my last breakup, I got like this per diem job in the hospital, and it was like the craziest thing ever. It was like so fast paced. And I was like, why did I do this? I only lasted 6 months. But that's what it was. I was trying to avoid, I wanted to fill the time. And again, I want to chime in, and I have to show grace and compassion to women, especially, and I'm sure men do this also, because it is hard. It's hard after a breakup. It's hard. It's a loss. You're grieving. You go through the 5 stages of grief, so I get it. This is the thing, y'all, with coaches. They're a little bit more
cut and dry.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more. I show grace.
See, y'all are the problem. Y'all holding their hands. You're holding their hand, and you're like, it's okay. No, tease it.
I do. My style of therapy is I do show grace, but I also am big on accountability, and because that's the only way for us to grow. That's the only way for us to evolve and make changes, is when we're able to take accountability.
Yeah.
So thank you, Carl. This was really good. Do you want to share? Can you share where people can find you?
Yes, they can find me, Call the Coach, on IG and Call the Coach on Facebook. You can find me on both of those.
Call the Coach on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. And currently I'm not taking any new clients. I do have a waiting list. I'm trying to, that's the problem when you have multiple businesses. But I'm trying to cut back on some things so I can start doing, taking on more clients, especially men. But if you reach out to me and it's something emergency, like I said, again, I will respond. I just ask people just to be patient. Give me a second, but I will respond back to you. But there's not, and again, I will say this to people. I have a coach. I have a accountability coach, and I have a therapist, and I see them regularly. And it is the best thing I've ever done for my life. And my sons are 25 and 20. They'll be 26 and 21 this year. And I had both of them. I don't coach my sons. I'm dad, but they both have coaches and therapists, because it's that important that we start that at a younger age and stop making it seem like you're weak or something's wrong with you for getting help. There's nothing wrong with crying when you're hurt. There's nothing wrong when you've been through something traumatic to be upset, depressed. It's everything you go through. The problem is staying there, or the unwillingness to learn and change, because all you're going to do is have the same effect in your next relationship.
Good stuff. I have that right, Carl.
Call the Coach. Yes.
Okay. Great. And people can find me I have a couple different IG pages. My first one is at Single Ladies Coaching, and EMDR intensives, which is a new offering that I'm so excited to be offering, where I provide an intensive therapeutic retreat. I'm hearing myself echo. Okay. Um, yeah, where I provide an intensive therapeutic retreat. It basically is like 6 hours of therapy in one day. So for people who are looking for more intensive, they're tired of doing week to week therapy, it is a really good option. And it's in a very cozy location that I make sure people feel very comfortable and have snacks and all this stuff in privacy. So really, really dope. Send me a message if you're interested in learning more. But I would love, if there's any other final questions, please let us know. We'll come back and answer. Any final thoughts, Coach Carl, that you want to leave with folks?
Yeah, she's going to have jerk wings on plantain, some rice and peas, and some steamed cabbage at her intensive.
I'm a pescatarian. Well, I try to be. I cheat here and there, but it's so, I think versus when I was at my office and I had a restroom that was outside of the office. And if people were like, emotional or whatever, they had to leave my office to go to the restroom. And these little things really make a difference. Like having a private area where people can go in a room and rest if they want to, or go to a restroom without having to see other people. It really makes a difference. So this is really, I'm really excited about offering this retreat for people to get away and do some deep work. So I'm sorry, unfortunately, there will not be jerk wings. I'll be offering different type of appetizers, and you can't be having all this heavy food while you're trying to heal.
Food is good for the soul.
It is, but that's a different show. I'm very excited about having my health instructor / she's also a physical trainer who's going to be talking about health and wellness and foods and how all that stuff affects us, our bodies, our mind. So
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Oh, and lastly, and later on this year, I will be releasing my new show.
Oh.
Cooking and Coaching with Carl. So I'll be preparing many of my special delicacies live and taking questions for coaching in different situations live with that. So that will be coming later on this year. So
go follow them.
So I'm excited. I'm really about seeing everyone win. But you can't win if you're not healed. It's just that I don't care how you are. It's like an athlete. If you got an injury and you want to win, there's no way you're going to win. Get out there and win and do your best until you heal from that injury.
Mm-hmm. Win in business and in love.
Yes.
Every area, it affects. So good. Thank you for your time. Thank y'all for joining in and watching. I'm so excited to continue to evolve with all of you. Take care. Good night.
Good night.